Sean Evans. Hey, hey, hey.
Cannot hear anything.
You can't hear a thing?
No.
Man, have we got the gremlins going today.
Wow.
Just hang on 2 seconds.
There we go. I got you.
Are you back?
Yes, mate.
All right. Welcome to we've got the Dutton Award here today.
Good afternoon. I think we've been duttoned out.
We've done, we've already done a 45, 50 minute one, and
Left the seat of Dixon.
we've pulled up a bit short. Shawnee,
Good. Hey. Hello, big man.
good to see you, mate.
Yeah, good. You too.
Great to have you here for this. What do we call it now? Got to get my head back in the game.
Election special.
The election special. What a night!
Wash up. Oh,
What a night! Boy, has it
Incredible.
fallen flat? It's a landslide.
yeah. It's the Liberals are in the ocean. Landslide. No one saw it coming, I don't think. I sort of thought Labor might win, but certainly to see that sort of number, red, blue, holding forward, Liberal Labor.
They did the America's Cup, didn't they? They come from behind and smashed them, buddy. Boy, what a landslide. I can't believe not only that Dutton's gone,
Yes.
he's out of the party altogether. He's lost his seat.
Surfing at Noosa. Yeah.
He's seatless. We have got a clock going up here, mate. We've got a clock going up there. So just put everybody in the loop. We did do nearly an hour, and
it was some of our best work.
somehow I don't reckon I hit the red button properly. So
Yeah, well,
apologise, Sean. That's it's terrible, but
More time with you, though. I'm comfortable with that.
there you go. Landslide. We had a landslide election last night where Labor absolutely trumped Liberal.
Yes, they did. And look, I was speaking to you earlier. If it's plain holding forward, Liberal Labor, Labor 83 seats, Liberal on their own 13. Crickets, yeah. I think that was just relatives voted for him.
It could have been. Might have been the dog. Might have been Dutton's dog. What's the dog called?
Oh, I don't know.
Fucking Fluffy.
I think he got put down this morning.
Oh, he probably did too. They're probably at the lodge already,
Yeah.
just trying to drag
Yeah.
him in from the water. They've probably got sharks in there anyway, have they?
I would have thought so.
Sydney Harbour? Yeah, I think the
Sharks in Parliament.
there's lots of sharks.
Did you see that coming?
Not to that degree, no. We did talk at work on Monday or Tuesday or Wednesday this week saying, look, it's probably more than likely that Labor's going to get up. But they not only got up, I think they actually trod on... What was the seats? How many seats?
Well, they had 87 or something. I think the coalition combined was about 35. But as I say, if you take it out, Liberal Labor, point blank, 83 to 13 is I've never seen that in my life of following politics. So
It's a trumping, wasn't it?
while it was boring to watch the seats roll in, at the same time, it was car crash sort of stuff. You couldn't look away. You thought, hang on. Blue ribbon seat, Sturt, which has been a foundation Liberal seat.
Sure.
Labor this morning, red. So amazing things took place overnight, really.
We've got 10 seats in Adelaide, haven't we? 8 are the ALP.
Yes.
7 are the ALP, 2 are Liberal.
I think it's gone 8 now. I think it's 8 to 2, which I think it's Grey and Far North, and there's another one I can't remember. Barker,
There was
I
Mayo.
think. Barker?
Mayo was the other one.
Oh, sorry, Mayo, yes.
So it might be 7, 2 and 1, something like that. But
yes, well done.
boy, oh boy.
Rebecca Sharkey won a seat that she took off the Liberals last election again. Ran as an independent and won again.
Yes, so there's Johnny Platten on the telly. He's looking good. Nice lops of hair still.
Have a look at him. I don't know who that bloke is. I think he just wandered in. I think he's just someone who's come out the crowd. I don't know. He's probably someone. Oh, no, I'll tell you who that was. That was a Michael Tuck,
Yeah, right.
I reckon.
Yeah, I reckon you're right.
And a David Parkin, gravel in his throat.
Oh, Parko, eh?
Look, it's as much as it was a landslide, it was fascinating to watch. When Dixon went with Dutton himself, you've had your pants pulled down with the the national vote, and then you've been made to carry them home when you lose your own seat. It was extraordinary.
Dad, are you going to work on Monday?
Yeah, I'll be home now.
I got nowhere to go. Yeah.
Yeah. Can we get a new PlayStation game? Well, I'll be sitting next to you.
Hey, look, it was probably always in the back of his mind that if it did go belly up, which it did,
Yeah.
that if he did lose his seat, then he's lost his job, hasn't he?
I saw someone, I can't remember quite who it was. It might have been even Bill Shorten, or could have even been David Pemberthy from 5AA locally. He said that, when you lose an election, it's embarrassing. But when you're the leader and you lose your own seat,
Yeah, it starts at the top, doesn't it?
you sort of wander into the dark.
Yeah.
And never to be seen again, really, because you don't want to be.
No, I think the bloke's probably a great leader. If you listen to the stories of the people, they all seem to suggest that he's a good bloke.
Yeah.
Very calm, very knowledgeable. He's come through the ranks, and unfortunately, he's hit a wall. And he's gone. Like it's, yesterday, you're flying high. You've probably got an opportunity of maybe getting a couple of seats back.
Or being Prime Minister.
At best. And now you haven't even got a job.
You're a Centrelink. That's amazing. But he
I can't believe it's still.
he had some really good policies, defence side. He was big on defence, which I know you and I, that strikes a chord with you and I, because we think that's pretty important just at the moment.
Sure is.
And so there was that. But I just, as I said to you the other day, I just don't think Australians take on board what policies or what people are looking at doing. They just sort of, Australians are quite so laid back.
Do you think they vote on aesthetics and just behavioural voting?
Yeah, but where's an Akubra? He must be Australian. I'll go down and vote for him. Dutton's bald, or whatever. And you hear these conversations and you think, I don't get it myself. But, that's fine. Look, I mean, not everyone's into this like you and I are. So
We are the lucky country, but I think at times we're fairly lacklustre as well.
yes.
If you have a look at the real policies, he's introduced a new tax on the, let's call it on the middle class to the rich.
Yep.
What do we say? He's the boy from the forest that he's going to rob from the rich and give to the poor. And I hope that he's got the money to back what he's got, because at the moment, if you're taking money from other sides that isn't even there to pay for your promises, then wow,
Well,
scary future. Because as you said before, it's not this term. It probably might be the term after and the term after that before we get a different parliament look.
after last night, you got 3 Liberals in a phone box, and that's all you got left. So you're not much there to then fight the next election with. And the question becomes, who's leader next?
Sure. We did bring a few names up, didn't we? Alex Antic.
Hasty was
And
one.
Andrew
yes.
Hastie, who's the Shadow Defence Minister.
Don't rule out Angus. Angus, I can't think of his last name. Goodness me, that's a bad one. Angus, but he's been up the front of the government. He's quite a strong figure. I think they need to go with someone strong. I don't think it can be a weak figure, because they're going to need to put something pretty strong together to try and claw their way back. So, it's got to be someone with a bit of strength and find some values, because really this election proved that the Liberals went to the election with nothing that was a difference to the current government.
Did you go to school with Alex Antic?
I did, yes. Good fella. His mum and dad used to
He's
drive
a
a BMW.
he's a good-looking rooster too, isn't he? He's got plenty of hair.
Yeah, he's always had plenty of hair, and his mum used to be in the can-do with my mum, so I knew him quite well. But he's quite a good, sensible fella. Talks well, and not sure of his leadership material. Sorry, I won't swear on air, but he'll be there and about. I would say to you, given that the Nationals won one more seat than the actual Libs, Little Brother's got more of a say when it comes to.
So did we say it was 14 seats that the Nationals got?
Yeah, 14 to 13. So if you're
So
sitting
the
around
Liberals
that,
got 13 seats. Jeez,
so if you're sitting around that seat and you're a National, you're going, well, hang on.
they'd be feeling blue, wouldn't they, at the minute?
Oh, well, very much so. I think if you're a National, you're sitting there going, well, hang on, we've now actually got more than Big Brother. I think we get to say...
It's change of the guard, isn't it? It's
yeah.
It's fairly scary in a way. Just we've now got all our eggs in one basket. You know, the people have voted. The people have voted in our mate Albo with his dog Pixels.
What's he called? Domestic sausage, or what do they call it? Democracy sausage Albo, someone called him.
Yeah, imagine the democracy sausage. Where's the sausage sizzle gone?
Well, I went down to...
Is that woke that's changed that or what?
I went down to the local barbecue yesterday to go and vote. You wouldn't believe this.
I would believe it.
No, follow this. So they've actually got... They're doing barbecue and they're doing calamari rings and onion.
Is that right?
Yes.
Where'd you go?
Salisbury East, down a little primary school down there where I live. I walked down there, I wanted a snag. I thought, get a snag, that's what you do. Calamari on a barbecue for election day. The world's bloody changing. Could you see them doing calamari on the barbecue in 1957 when you go down to vote?
How much were they charging for a calamari?
I didn't even look.
Man.
I did not even look. I thought, no, I'm not doing
$12 for a sausage sizzle.
And then you can get some calamari for $11 a packet. I thought, oh, gee, the world's changing, isn't it?
It is a whole new setup for us now. We've got to get our head around this. Look, the big question still is energy.
Yes.
Where does it come from over long term? Now we're looking possibly at the next decade. It's going to take a few years to build whatever you need to build if you're going to change the energy type, whether you go nuclear or is nuclear now being put to bed?
Bill Shorten said overnight, I think nuclear tonight blew up because that was Dutton's policy. And
so we run coal again and put people at risk again, do we?
I would not know. I don't know which way they'll take it. The only thing is that they've obviously now got a full mandate to do whatever they want. So it's going to be up to Labor to do whatever they want. But interesting, I thought, was the seats where they were potentially looking at taking nuclear. Those people voted overwhelmingly for Labor, so they didn't want nuclear in their backyard, which you can understand.
Was the timing wrong, do you think, for them to use that trump card and say, people don't like change at the best of times, do they? It's always moving houses, changing jobs. It's on par with death. It's pretty, you do this every 3 or 4 years. You got to vote, and it's hard enough to go down there on a Saturday morning and vote because you don't want to.
Yeah.
But you don't want to pay the $150 gift fine if you don't. So, did they just play it the wrong? Did they not show their hand ever? Were they vague? I think they were vague.
They didn't sell their message.
There was no policy as a production to people, was there?
Didn't sell their message.
All they heard was nuclear, scared, change.
Run.
ALP always also said that it was $600 billion to build a nuclector reactor.
But there was no counter argument.
No, exactly.
So remember 93, Dr. Paul Hewson was going to win for the Libs by a mile.
Yes.
Then he bought in the GST under his recovery package. Paul Keating picked it apart.
Yep.
And on the final days, no one understood the GST because the Liberals didn't explain it. So no one knew what it was. They just knew they were going to get 11% tax on everything, right? So, but he was still going to win because Keating was so unpopular. On the final day of the campaign, a couple of days, Ray Martin interviews Paul Hewson on television. John Hewson. I keep saying Paul. It's John Hewson. He's interviewing him on television and he says, well, so if I have a birthday cake, how much do I pay? And he couldn't explain it to him. So the election then just disappeared. Paul Keating wins and, of course, famously said this is a win for the true believers. How sweet is this? Because he was dead and buried. But the Liberals couldn't sell that message of what the GST was. In the following 4 years of Keating getting elected, he brings in a GST and it works because he went to the public and explained this is what it is. And I think the same thing happened with Dutton and nuclear. We're going to go nuclear. Well, what does that mean? Oh, we'll let you know. Well, I think the Australian people overwhelmingly thought, well...
Yeah, don't change what...
We want to know what it is.
Don't change the taps. They're still working now.
Yeah. So I think they've had a problem selling their message in a couple of elections now. So yeah,
I think it's going to be a rocky ride. We don't know what's going on with China. We don't know what's going on with the Yanks with China, the tariffs. You got fighting in the Gaza Strip still. You got Israel and the what are they called, the Hummies?
the Houthis.
Houthis.
Yeah, there's not enough hours in a day to keep across all this.
And then you got India now and Pakistan arguing, haven't you? Haven't you got some fighting up there as well? Like they've got 1 trillion people on each side of the fence.
It's just getting worse. But I think they'll have a test match and sort that one out. But
They'll sort it out over cricket. Yeah.
Over a 5-day battle, but they're just going to pick the venue.
That's the real.
Might go to Saudi
the
Arabia,
real currency.
So it's all neutral. So there's so much going on in the world, and that's why I think that people yesterday overwhelmingly voted to not change, because people traditionally are scared of change anyway, and if it's not sold correctly, then they just go with what they know. And I think that's where we got to yesterday.
I reckon so. I reckon we can tick that box, eh?
Yeah. And then, what that means moving forward for the port of Darwin and, our military bases and our strength and
yeah, that's gone cold, hasn't it? Too. We haven't heard any more about the Darwin base and the runway, at least there in Exmouth or the top of WA there that somehow China's been allowed to build and pay for. So I hope that those things come up in the next few weeks once we go back to business again on Monday tomorrow, and hopefully we hear a little bit more about that, because that's real. That's got to get sorted out one way or the other.
We've got to get on top of this.
I don't care.
It's just sitting there, isn't it?
Don't care who's in office, but
yeah.
The scary thing is, and we need to talk about it, is defence. Defence is underdone.
Yep.
He's over/under if under's overdone.
Under, yeah.
So. Great film.
Amazing
Great
movie.
film.
Absolutely amazing movie.
But that's got to be sorted out. Albo's obviously locked a lot of money up into these submarines, these nuclear subs that are due in 2045. So we'll be 80 by then.
We didn't want nuclear power, but we wanted nuclear subs.
Yeah, isn't that funny? It's contradictory, isn't it?
Oh, goodness.
So, you sort of hope that if there was to be some sort of war, which I hope there isn't with Taiwan, and China's certainly rehearsed enough times now or done enough war games to know how to do it. If that was to... I'm worried they've got a pulse gun that's going to knock out the second, third fleet. And then they're going to be subject to
I feel like we're underprepared.
I think we're way underdone here in Australia.
I think we're way underdone. Yeah.
Yeah, I think the Salty Crocs and the Great Whites have a better chance to put a suit on. The Sharks could be the naval Sharks, couldn't they?
A footy team in that, I think. But yeah. So look, I don't know. I mean, look, I just feel like we're not prepared.
Yeah.
And look, we may well be. I mean, there could be stuff that you and I don't know about going on at top level, but gee, you've got China sitting up above with warships and subs, and you got the Yanks out near WA, and
the Sterling base there. Now I know that's got to have money spent on it too, and that's significant money that has to be done to allow that type of submarine to come in, because they're a lot longer than the Australian Collins class that we're using.
Do it now. We've got to get on with this.
Well, you need one in Perth. You need one in Sydney or down the East Coast there as well. So, you got to protect the Indian Ocean and the Pacific. And I know New Zealand at the moment, seeing we're not far out Anzac Day there.
Yes.
They've just announced their defence strategy, and I think they're getting another couple of big frigates there to try to help out.
I thought you were going to say another 2,000 sheep coming across.
But once again, if you look at it, they're in the same waters as us, and they have similar properties where we're friendly. We're not here. This country doesn't fight externally with anybody. It's not looking to overtake people's land or push into stuff that's not ours. We've got Australia. We've got everything here we need.
Yeah.
really we don't have to go off here at all.
Well, we don't, but we also need to get ourselves organised, I reckon. Like, if you look at it, you got Israel still fighting over there, right?
Sure do.
Americans and China not happy with each other. Indians, Pakistanis not happy with each other.
Oh, good
There's
blimey.
a fair bit of tension. Yes. Yeah. Good afternoon to everyone that's watching from there. But yeah, there's a fair bit of tension in the world right now. Yet we seem to be just going, we'll get there.
Like Hawking, yeah.
We've got a couple of Popeyes down the torrent, so they'll be right, you know. I don't know. I worry about it myself, just being someone that likes watching what's happening around the globe. I think there's a concern about it.
Look, we know that they've put a big runway up there in Darwin now. They've spent a lot of money up there to, I think, allow the B-50, not so much the B-52s, but the other big stealth bombers to come in and land there and have those ordnance that can carry big payloads if need be.
If they're not shot down by the Chinese as they come in over the port.
Well, the other thing too, this diverts a little bit, but I was watching a show on the Space Force, the US Space Force. So they're monitoring 24/7, 18,000 different items that's in low Earth orbit. Now, the Chinese, and I believe the Russians already, have done it once where they've deliberately exploded one of these older systems, and all that metal that's floating around there is being monitored. Now, if they've got that ability, which they're obviously saying, we can look what we can do, we can take out your satellites. Because like every bank transaction, everything's just done by satellite, isn't it? War was never to be utilised for war, but it's already happening.
Can you imagine back in Australia, they're looking at the middle in the sky? Derek, something moved. Well, that's the Russian one, I reckon. Yeah, Chinese. I don't know. I just always think we're a little bit lazy and not as caring about any of this stuff.
Mate. She'll be right.
Like the bloody, when I speak to people about China being up the north and doing some war games and America. Oh, was that recently, or was that, what are they doing? Are they here? People have no idea.
It's a long way up, isn't it?
Oh, I don't know. It worries me. It really worries me.
You got Pine Gap there in the middle, dead set in the middle of Australia.
Great movie there.
Yeah, I did like this series. That was really good, But there's a hill up there too, a hill. That was on Rogan's the other day about the Aussies have got some sort of underground thing.
Oh, really?
Mount something or other, Mount Jewel, or so that's in that region as well. So it's pretty crazy. It's pretty crazy what's going on everywhere.
You and I have tried to, during the election, not go down one side or another, and we'll continue to do that. We'll stay Switzerland. But do you have a concern? This is my concern. Like, Liberal traditionally is finances, military, those sort of things. That's their focus.
Industrial relation reform.
Industrial relation reform. Yep, correct. So that is now done for the next period of time because, Labor's now in charge for probably not the next election, but probably the one after, given the loss from the Liberal Party. So what have we got? It's a time where we need someone fighting for defence and for the financial side of things, and I just don't. I now worry about what that means now that they can just have free rein to with not looking at those two areas in particular.
With the Nationals now seeing they've got 14 seats, do they need a defence plan now?
Well, they'll be part of the coalition with the Liberals, but it's going to be interesting to see who takes power of that, because I think there'll be a bit of a pissing competition. Because where the Liberals traditionally have been able to get their way, given that the Nats had less seats, all of a sudden more seats, little brother might poke his head up and just turn around and go, well, hang on, we want a National now to lead the whole bloody coalition. What happens? So I think they've got to sort themselves out. They're going to sit down and work out, okay, what's our policy directive? What do we look like? Who's our leader? someone's strong to take on elbow, at least next time, to try and pull back some of the gap so that within 8 years' time you're back in power, hopefully. That's what I think they'll be looking
It's pretty concerning, isn't it? It really is real.
correct.
You know, it's, you know, the whole world's flippant at the minute that it's just ready to go off, isn't it? And
Well, and we all pray that Albo gets it right with Labor. You know, I mean,
I just hope he can back up
Yeah.
what he's done.
Yeah.
You know, everyone's voted for him.
Yep.
But once again, we did say earlier that I believe that Dutton lost it. I'm not convinced that Albo won it.
Yeah, fair assessment.
I think he was the recipient of the only one else that it could really go to.
He didn't have to do anything, did he?
No.
He was already in government.
Yeah.
So all he had to do was write out the 70 days or whatever it was. It was up to Dutton and the others to make an alternative argument,
Sure.
and they didn't do that. So hey, full credit to Albo for what he's done. He's won by a mile. So let's just hope now. We've all got to hope that he gets it together and does the right thing. That's where we've got to back that in now and hope that he delivers. You know, militarily.
Fucking mozzies.
Yeah,
Sunday mozzies. There he is. Look
they're
at him.
big actually, aren't they?
Dancy little buggers.
I thought one was a magpie, but it came.
What about the footy? We had a triple header yesterday.
Yeah, speaking of magpies,
They nearly got up again, didn't they?
Down to the Putty Tats. Interesting, fantastic game of footy. That turned out to be more exciting than the election in the end, didn't it?
It did indeed.
And
What a shame he didn't get his win for his special day. But
yes, amazing effort.
he had it all in front of him, didn't he? That's your 15 minutes of fame in front of the goals. You're going to win the game.
What do we do as kids? We all sit in the backyard having that dream.
You got to know that stuff,
kick after
though.
the siren, and you put it through, and everyone jumps.
Malcolm
on
Blight did it, didn't he? You've got to do it. You know,
90 metres away.
That's your one and only real opportunity to make it.
Yeah, and I look, you know, he's been a wonderful player over the time. Beating Jim Steins' record is no mean feat. So,
He was a good man.
I like footy stories of, you know. So I was hoping he'd get up for his game. I just like those sort of stories. But then again, I don't like Collingwood, so I wasn't terribly upset when they went down. But you know, unbelievable match of football. And then of course our two local teams, Ash. One absolutely now is premiership favourite, according to most that I've spoken to this morning in the Crows. I think that everyone's waving the flag. And
Yeah, the Yankees are only on game 25, I think, so they got a long way to go yet.
oh, Yankees will take it out. Don't worry, Dodgers will fall. No, then you've got Port Pirie Power, who headed to Ballarat and got pantsed, essentially. So that wasn't the best afternoon.
I don't think old Joni was too happy about that one either.
Neither was Kenny, I don't think. I think Kenny was wandering around wanting what to do. But, I mean, next week a showdown. I mean, that's always big here, isn't it?
Plus, it's a home game for Port, so they'll come out firing next week.
You would think so. It might be a bit of 1970s Port, a bit of a few elbows up.
I'll be thinking. I think that there'll be... no, they're always hard, and they're always close, you know. They're always within 3 or 4 points normally, you know, like they're that close.
Crows are good.
They
move the ball well.
They can be shit on the day as well, and like any, you know, the only benefit to them is that they're playing at home as well on an away game. So you know, although the crowd's going to be, majority of it will be Port. You know, who knows? They disappoint you as much as they excite you from time to time.
Showdowns, you go, Crows will win this by 90 and Port win, and then you think the other way around, you know, you just don't know. So it'll be an interesting game, and then I think the Crows then fire up the following week, if I'm not mistaken, against Collingwood at the MCG.
Is that right? Okay.
That's a big couple of weeks for Adelaide. You know, and if they escape through that, well, you know, they... yeah, it's going to be a big couple of weeks for them. So, but you know, footy's good. Good to see. The only thing I don't like at the moment is the umpiring. I have no idea what is going on. I will put my hand up and say that straight away. I've got no idea.
Has been average this year, I reckon.
Oh, I saw a bloke spin around 5 times, I reckon. He did 1,040 if you're counting it out in metres. And last night threw it over his head and got a free kick for hanging on. Now, I'm not sure what's going on.
I don't know the interpretation of the rules.
If my father was sitting here, he would just simply stand up. He used to stand up, walk over to the television, because back in those days you didn't have remotes, right, or whatever. He'd walk up and he would just push the button,
turn it off,
and he'd go to his study and do some aircraft bookwork or whatever. Whenever he got frustrated with the umpires, he just, and I'm at that stage at the moment. I just, they're just so confusing.
Once again, though, like if you look at when Port get tackled,
yep,
they always try to get rid of the ball, and they generally do.
Yep.
You find other clubs, they get tackled and they drop the ball. To me, that's holding the ball. But if you don't retard the arm, which was the whole idea of holding the ball, that you can't. You had time to get rid. Your first choice was to get rid of the ball, and you chose not to.
Yep.
And then you got tackled, and you couldn't get rid of the ball, holding the ball.
Absolutely.
If you get tackled and you drop the ball, incorrect disposal. But they don't seem to be doing that. The wording is now that as long as they're making an effort to do something, they won't.
The one last night, the umpire rushes in. He's thrown it over his head, if you don't mind, after spinning around like he's in a...
I don't give a rat's toss bag whether you do 50 laps. If you're not retarding them in any way and just holding their Guernsey, to me, that's not holding the ball. Holding the ball is that...
if you get to the 9th turn, you're still hanging on to it like you're in a washing machine. I'm not really sure that's... But anyway.
Well, you should have got rid of it by then anyway.
He threw it over his head and the umpire rushed in and said, no, he got rid of it, and then you held on to him. I was just sitting there going, I'm not sure what
participation
part of that is.
award, is that what you're saying?
Oh, well, isn't that the way we're going as well?
Well, hopefully
don't you get
not.
a medal if you step on the ground? And,
yes, sir.
Yeah, and then you ring your mum and told her you played today, and, it's all...
But there are other countries as well that, London's struggling at the moment with immigrants coming in and taking all the jobs. And, in Australia, do as the Australians do. In Rome, do as the Romans do. If you come in here, you've got to respect the Australian way and act as an Australian. If not, don't bother coming here. I'm not a racist, but at the end of the day, I don't want to go to another country and tell those people how to run their country.
Well, that's what I said to you on the last podcast.
We can't house them.
Do you think we... Yeah, sorry, go ahead.
Can't house them. We can't look after them. Why should we be paying all their services for them when the native Australians aren't getting the same?
Oh, and this is what, another... We'll come back to...
It's another story.
Come back to the election that happened yesterday, but one of the things that was unpopular with Peter Dutton, as I understand it with people, is that he wanted to restrict the incoming amount of people because he thought that we weren't getting a fair shot as Aussies. And so he wanted to not bring in as many Chinese students and all those sort of things, those sort of people. So that was one of his policies. He said, we're not getting a fair go here, and this is what I want to do. But that was unpopular because it was seen as being racist. And I think that's where
segregation,
the debate gets interesting, doesn't it? What's racist and what's just looking after your own people. But
well, where does it lie now? If it wasn't part of Albo's, what's his name?
Albo. I don't think he's...
Pardon me. If Albo hasn't got any direction with it, what do you do there?
This was the whole debate during the election, isn't it? So what do you want? That was the only sort of clear policy difference, was bringing in people and not bringing in people. But if you're anti, or you don't like it and you want to see Aussies have a bit more of a go, that's seen as racist.
Yeah, I think you got to look after your backyard first. That was always the Australian way. See, that's holding the ball, right? That is.
No, that was.
He had opportunity and he's tumbled the ball out.
Blow me down. He's actually paid it too. But coming back to your point, not letting other people tell us what to do.
We don't go around telling people what to do. That's my whole philosophy on life anyway, is, treat people the way you want to be treated. Like if you want to walk around with your head up your ass, then no one's going to talk to you.
So
No one can be bothered with you.
this Port of Darwin bothers both of us. I know that.
It's on the ball. There you are.
That is,
Same one.
and he paid it. It was the same one. We were right twice then. Yeah, we're
Knowles.
right. Aren't we just? But no, you know,
Port
like
of Darwin, yep.
China owned the Port of Darwin, as we know. Well, there was talk about trying to buy that back, and yet that's died. Where can you imagine us going to Beijing and saying, "Okay, today we're buying the Port of Beijing"? Can you see the Chinese government allowing that to happen?
No.
So why do we? That's just my question.
Well, I don't reckon we went there with 3 frigates and started shooting around where their airports were.
Can you imagine that?
Come on.
Can you imagine that?
It's provocative. It's un-Australian. I said that last week.
We're a soft touch. I don't know. That's just my belief.
I think, as you said before, she'll be right, mate.
Yeah.
You know, that's good. But I don't reckon those days are here anymore. You know,
Still get
the Australian larrikin is starting to diminish. That was part of being Aussie.
I can still get a beer somewhere for $5. I can get Fritz for $3.80 at the IGA.
Can't get Fritz in Sydney.
No. Well, I think Australia's on the Fritz after last night. But anyway, look, you know, there's just not that. I don't think people look into anything that's going on, and I think that is a problem in my eyes. I think people really need to open their eyes and see what's going on.
Do you think enough people voted yesterday clearly that they were interested in
No.
the next couple of years?
No. People went down there yesterday. What do I do? Oh, shit, I've got to be here. You know, I had something else on today. I was going to go and see Auntie Janet, but now I've got to vote. This has pissed me off. Grab me a brochure. What do I do?
What about the sign on the fence with the good-looking fella on it? What was his name?
Oh, Malinowskis. Yeah, there was a lot of that. Interesting, that, isn't it?
Yeah.
They've ridden his coattails.
There. Well, once again, you know, you get someone pretty that walks into the room, they attract people, don't they? You know.
Every single seat in South Australia had Peter Malinowskis with his arms around the local candidate, even though he's state politics and the Premier. But because he's so popular here, you know, he could take a wee in most people's front lawn, they come out and shake his hand. So he's that popular. But Federal Labor saw that and they thought, here's a go. We get him involved.
They were a lot smarter with their
tactically.
regime. Yeah.
And so they've ridden his back essentially to a state now where all South Australia in the metropolitan area is Labor, even taking Sturt for the first 5 minutes federation, which is enormous.
And you think that seat would be safe forever, wouldn't you?
If you'd said to me 10 years ago, in 10 years' time, Sturt will be lost to Labor, I would just say, look, you probably need to put the drinks down. You know, you're having too many drinks. But anyway.
Yeah, well, just the amount of money in that area, I can't see how they voted.
The Malinowskis factor.
Labor,
It was massive. It was massive here. They've ridden his coattails to get in all of it. And look, good luck to them for it. If you're a strategist and you think, well, okay, how do we win in South Australia, going state by state? How do I win there? You know,
do you think Mally could sell ice to the Eskimos, you reckon?
I think he really could sell sunglasses to a blind person. He just absolutely is...
Package.
He's packed. And look, you know, for all intents and purposes, good luck, you know, well done to him. He's just got that pizzazz about him. He's got his way of speaking. He's switched on with all the, you know, the local sort of debate and rides it. And people go for it. And so, can't knock that, really, can you? When you got Vincent Tarsier currently as Liberal leader, people think it's a speech impediment when they try to say his name. So, but they don't know him. So Labor saw something there and they went for it. And good luck, like they did in Tasmania.
Sold the candy. Yeah.
They won all the seats in Tassie.
Yeah, look, once again, I brought up with Pauline Hanson with you with the One Nation. I thought they might get up to 10%, but that didn't happen either.
She didn't do as well as she did last election. But the Patriot of Trumpet, or what do they call it? Trumpet of Patriots or whatever
Something
they were.
like that.
The one that texted every 4 hours. I wrote back to go away, but they apparently there was no sender on the message. But
yeah, he was on, he might have been on Sky I'm just trying to think who.
Clive Palmer.
When I was watching it on the telly.
Yeah.
And they belittled him a little bit. They did sort of bully. They did sort of promote that, he'd spent all this money and got nothing for it, and what are you really doing in here? And it was a bit un-Australian. I didn't like it, actually. It was a bit of tall poppy syndrome, I reckon.
They tend to put him down, but their argument is right. So if he spent, what'd they say, something like $40 million in
40 or 60 or 80 million,
in 2 elections, and he's got nowhere, when do you get to the stage where you just lay your guns down on the bar and sort of realise it's time to walk away, rather than ending up like, Sonny Corleone walking into the bar and getting riddled with bullets?
What about the Titanic? Is that finished yet?
Oh, I think it is tomorrow. Dutz is going to run it. Dutz is going out in it.
I know he started building that before COVID got here, didn't he?
Yeah.
So he's had a few hiccups with it, but it must be getting.
When do you just
shooters
on the bar,
money.
walking? I know it's hard to do because of Dempsey's pride, walking away and all the rest of it. But for God's sake, you're riddled with bullets after 2 elections. Take your money, walk into the sunset. And that's essentially what the commentators were saying. I get your point. Like, it's not right that they put him down over it, and especially live on air. But goodness me, like, how many shots do you have?
Yeah.
How many goes?
I don't know. Surely that's
He'll go again.
If he's got the money to keep throwing it at it, and you're probably better off putting it into healthcare or something else. Like get something back for your buck. But I don't see it. You think what the Yanks must spend on how long theirs goes for? It goes for like 6 months, doesn't it?
Yeah, something like that.
It's ridiculous.
Oh, the election?
Yeah. How
long? Well, you got all your pre-terms and all your post-voting and nominations that go through. So that process is quite long. Then you get the actual election. So yeah, you're right. It drags on. And I think Australians would hate that.
I think the Westminster system is still the simplest and the best anyway. I think it's pretty fair. So John Howard bangs on about it all the time, that it's good, it's fair, it's honest, and what do you got, 150 seats? Try to fill them up.
Just imagine Australians getting 6 months worth of text messages from the trumpet of Australians or whatever they were. They would just go and kill them. They'd find their office and they'd go and kill them, because Australians don't like elections and all that guff that comes with it.
It's fairly disruptive.
So if you get a 6 month period of that, Australians wouldn't cope with that. They'd kill the bloke that announces in 6 months' time we're holding an election. Australians are simple, aren't they? When's the election? Oh, fuck that. Next week. Oh, great.
What time's it open?
Yeah. Is it early?
Can I get calamari with my sausage down there? Or?
Don't even go there, please. It's one of those things where Australians are just so easy with what they like. When is it? Next week. Ripper. I've only got a week of this garbage to put up with,
Don't forget to vote.
And then they walk down there and they go, yeah, well, or even quite a lot of people that I was talking to during the week, a couple of them were saying, it's only $250. I'll pay that and not do it. So they're pretty laid back, aren't they, Australians?
I think so.
And in China, you have to vote or you get shot, I think. I think that's one of the things that happens.
Yeah. Look, I just hope that war doesn't happen. I think that one will disrupt the world pretty badly. And
you're right.
Even the Russian-Ukraine thing, that I think the Yanks have pulled out of that now, that they won't arbitrate anymore. So,
well, Donald Trump the other day, you'll like this one. Apparently, he's said that he's happy to talk to China, and even he would like to build a relationship where they become the 51st state. Now, I'm sort of thinking that one's that's not going to happen, to be honest with you. But that was quite funny, I found. And he said it all in all seriousness. He'd like to talk to China and about, and get such a good relationship that they could be the 51st state. And I thought, well, that's ambitious. That is ambitious.
Donald likes everyone. He just has a problem with Zelensky, doesn't he?
Did you see them talking the other day when the Pope died?
That's right.
Where do you walk in? You go, hang on, the Pope just died, fellas, settle down. No, I don't know, but Donald, well, He's Donald, isn't he?
What have you done now, Donald?
Yes.
Oh, Donald, yeah.
I would like China to be the 51st state, and everyone went, "Oh, good God, what's he saying?"
Look, I'm glad it's over. I'm concerned for the next couple of years, and hope. See that, to me, that's holdable.
Oh, I thought so, and
So,
they didn't pay that one. So this is what I'm talking about, the consistency of umpiring.
Yeah.
Like, what do you
It's a great game, but boy, it's leave it alone. Stop changing it. For
go
what
back to 1929?
Well, look at the SANFL. It's still, the ball breaks free, you let it go. Stop playing freeze every 2 seconds. Just let it go.
Do we go back to 1929 when both the captains used umpire?
I suppose.
That'd be right, wouldn't it?
Yeah, I suppose.
Might see a bit of bias.
How's that camera still
If
going?
she's a tight game.
Still going up there.
Yeah, the camera's still going, are we? I think we're still live.
Yeah,
aren't
we got red everywhere on this one.
we?
So
Oh, well, that's good. Is that red? Is good, is it? A bit like the country today.
yeah, boy, oh boy.
That's covered in red.
But
No, look,
yeah, we got to
massive night.
Yeah, I'm glad it's over. It
Yep.
was exciting yesterday to
Yep.
see possibly how it would go, and it didn't go anywhere the way I thought it might. And I'll learn from that. I'm very, very green with it, but I do get excited. I sort of get caught up with policy, and I love policy. If it's structured, it's like being at the smelter. If the
Well,
smelter's
smelters crept into this.
if it's structured, then
Yes.
generally it goes all right. But
Yes. Yeah. Well, it's like anything, isn't it? If there's a structure and there is a message and there's a leader, well, then you're fine.
yeah, that's right. And it does start from the top, doesn't it? Let's be honest.
Correct,
If
yeah.
there's someone that's leading it the right way, and you got to do your task, then that's all you
Like
got
a
to do.
baseball club,
Absolutely. Yeah. Well, that's coming up. When's the AGM for that?
So at the moment we got the AGM on the June the 19th, so a little bit of time away. Our most other clubs have done their AGM. They all went early, so we're one of the last to get it done. But yeah, exciting things. New coach Adi Chenoweth coming in this season. I've had a bit of feedback, as you know, on that, but we'll put that on
Honest feedback. Honest
feedback, and it's coming rapidly, but that's all right.
It's no BS anyway. You've heard it. You've heard it from the mouth, haven't you?
If it goes wrong, I'll be in a barrel at Snowtown, but that's what it is. But yeah, so I find that's exciting. I'm very much looking forward to that. And then AGM in June, we'll see what who wants to put their hand up and have a go and help out. Be interesting. So good times ahead, I think, for the club. We've got our new facility coming in June as well. So new indoor training facility, so that'll be exciting as
Plenty
well.
happening.
So,
Plenty going on.
plenty happening at the Dodgers.
Did
yeah.
winter ball start yesterday?
Yes, it did. Now, I was due to get up there, but I was sitting at home just too excited with the election on. I couldn't move.
Election
I
night.
just
Election
thought,
night,
what happens
2025.
here? So I might go out on the 10th. Next Saturday's going to be 28 degrees. So
Still pretty warm, isn't it?
Might be a nice day to wander up there. And
We do need some rain. That's a
oh,
given.
indeed we do. But 28 next Saturday, so it could be a good day to wander in and see what's heading up with old
Yeah,
Bob.
I might head up there. And
I think you need to, and I think we both need to go up and suss out what's happening and
go and have a red can up there. And
only one each. I don't think it would go any further than that. But go up there and have a beer each and suss it out. I think that'd be good to see what's going up there.
well, that's good. You've got your eye done Tuesday.
Eye operation Tuesday, so I do hope to see you again after this. If not, you'll meet my Labrador Fred.
Yeah, that's right.
We'll just see how that goes.
The new retina. You should be doing the cross lotto numbers, I reckon, for this Saturday coming. So
Well, I said I can see Uranus. I said, not yet, but
You might be able to see Uranus soon.
I hope to, yeah. But no, look, IOP Tuesday should be good. Haven't been able to see properly, really, for the last couple of years, so I'm pretty excited about that. So hopefully that all goes well and be able to see further. And so a few things on the go, but life's good. Unfortunately, it was an interesting reaction last night from the election, and then we've got a few wars heading on, but I think life's generally okay.
that's good. Michelle Nichols will be happy. She'll be able to sit on the bus tomorrow and get a new feed from this one.
Well, we can, and Michelle Nichols, hello to you, love, and then we'll say hello to Michaela so she didn't get upset either. We always like to throw them in, don't we? So
there's old Apple up the top there above your head there. So
that's
Apple the alien.
Yeah, she's playing Division 2 women's next year, as I understand. But but no, look, hello to those ladies. Hope you will. Pete Renfrey, let's not forget the Stingray. Good-looking bloke. First bloke I've ever seen that's done 2 hamstrings at once. Happened
watching the footy too. Yeah.
watching the footy on Anzac Day. Of course, you were here, and man screaming on the ground, rolling like he was on fire.
I thought someone had grabbed him from behind and just pulled it out like a bow and arrow. He certainly arced up, didn't he?
Well, I did. You did actually mention that because it was Anzac Day, he might have been reenacting something like one of the previous battles. But there he was on the ground, and
I thought he got his leg caught in the aircraft carrier the way he was carrying on.
He did. I didn't know what to think. I thought a sniper might have got him from next door, but no, he was rolling around on the ground, and both hamstrings cramping both hamstrings at the same time.
Yeah, that's it.
Extraordinary. But at least we got to finish with a good coffee at the end of the night, and we had.
Eventually, we got the good coffee, didn't we?
But no, we had a good few laughs throughout the day. She was a good day here. So again, you're a fantastic host. So thanks to you.
It's a good day, Anzac Day. I do enjoy that day of the year. I think it's still one of the best top 2 for the year. So.
Oh, I love it. And then we Stingray sort of drove us home and farewelled the night, and I think I was pretty much asleep when I got home. So it's a big day, but terrific day. So you do a great job with your hosting and what you do.
2825's over, buddy, for the election. We got the same Prime Minister.
Yes.
Let's see if he can deliver this time, and
Anthony.
We'll see what happens with Albo and see whether he can put his money where his mouth is. So Good on you, mate.
All right, thank you.
We better wind this up for the second time.
Yeah, let's hope there's not a third. No, good times. Thanks, mate.
All right, Shawnee.
Cheers, mate.
Yeah, off to the Smelter tomorrow, and
bye, everyone.
No interstate travel, which is good.
Can't wait to see you there. We might even have a beer while we're there.
G'day to Reese and Debbie.
Hello, Reese, Debbie, everyone involved.
Kato, Andy.
Yep.
All the people on the Sunshine Coast.
Julie Morris, she's be tuning in.
And everybody have a good week. Be safe
too.
And
take care, everyone.
We'll be up again next Sunday.
Can't wait, mate. Thank you. Have a great day.
See you, Shawnee.
See you, mate.